What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about the newest Adam Sandler joint, Happy Gilmore 2. And I will be completely honest with you on this. I wasn't really interested in watching this movie. I respect Adam Sandler when he acts in movies from quality directors. He's given some amazing performances in his career. I mean, just look at Uncut Gems, Punch Drunk Love, Reign Over Me. He's done some really amazing projects. And early on in his career, when he was doing comedy, movies like Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison, I enjoyed those movies. I still, in revisiting them to this day, I can appreciate elements of them. They aren't as jaded as a lot of the newer projects that he's making. I feel like he's lost a lot of the passion that he had for the craft of comedy. Like, at least early on in his career, there was like a fire in his performance, and you could really feel the love of comedy come through in his performance. And even if everything didn't work about those movies for me, there was always something that I could find about those films to be charming and endearing. But I feel like a lot of his newer comedies, it seems like he doesn't want to be there. It's like he's collecting a paycheck. The humor is always really bad. I feel like the plots are so incredibly forgettable. And this is obviously a sequel to a movie that a lot of people love. I really enjoy Happy Gilmore. I was much more of a Billy Madison fan, but there's a lot about the original Happy Gilmore that I have a lot of like sentimental value towards, and a lot of the lines in that movie that I would quote a lot as a kid and share with my friends in my friend group. And so I was looking forward to watching this, hoping that at least there would be something to grab a hold on to and appreciate. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Happy Gilmore 2 today. Happy Gilmore 2 is directed by Kyle Newacheck. Happy Gilmore isn't done with golf, not by a long shot, since his retirement after his first Tour championship win. Gilmore returns to finance his daughter's ballet classes. So, like I said, I didn't really have high hopes for this movie when it was released. I went in to watch this because I appreciate the original Happy Gilmore and was hoping that Sandler could kind of tap into the things in that movie that made it so much fun and really entertaining. And what I will say is, I'm sure a lot of people are going to come at me and be like, bro, you just don't know how to have fun. You don't know how to turn your brain off. I think this movie is a perfect example of everything that is wrong with Hollywood right now. And a lot of the problems that I have with big budget Hollywood movies, this film, if there's one word I would use to describe it, it's soulless. This movie feels like it's cashing a check. It doesn't seem to care about being its own original thing. All it seems to care about is how many cameos that they can fit in the movie, how many callbacks to the original film that they can do, and how many dumb fart jokes that they can incorporate in the movie. Like, I expected there to be juvenile humor in this because Adam Sandler is like the king of juvenile humor, but there's elements of the juvenile humor that was incorporated into his movies in the 90s that I always found to be endearing despite being like kind of dumb. And in this, it's like it's trying so damn hard to just emulate the original without having any of that charm. And also, it's just shot in the most bland, formulaic way. Like, this looked like a cheap made for TV movie. And I know Sandler got a lot of money from Netflix to do this, which was baffling to me. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when I break the film down for you today. So, Happy Gilmore 2, I'm going to just tell the whole plot arc. So, if you don't want the early spoiler, skip over it. Just know I hated this movie, but I'm going to talk about it. So, in Happy Gilmore 2, we're dropped back into his life. We learn that after the events of the original film, he was incredibly successful. He won multiple golf tournaments. He became incredibly wealthy, and him and his wife had 5 children, 4 boys and a girl, and they just seemed to be thriving together. And he went to a tournament later on in his life, and he hit a drive and he killed his wife on impact with the tee shot that he hit, which caused him to completely fall apart. He kind of turned to alcohol, and he ended up wasting all of his money, going bankrupt, and having to get a job at a grocery store to support him and his daughter. His sons were old enough to move away and get places to live on their own. And he's kind of just falling apart. He doesn't know what to do with his life, but his daughter is incredibly talented at dancing, and he wants the ability to send her to this very prolific dance school in Paris, France, and he does not have the money for it. And he realizes the only thing that he can do to make that happen is to get back into golf. And so he gets back into golf in order to try to make money. Well, simultaneously, he is approached by this man played by Benny Safdie, who says that he is reinventing the game of golf. People are getting bored with what golf has become, and he's created this version of golf that plays faster. People can act more ruckus and not follow the rules and just kind of be themselves. And that is really the approach that Happy sort of inspired. And he does not care about that. He thinks that the guy is kind of a loser, and that causes conflict between the two of them, and they separate. Well, we learn that this guy wants to take over the PGA. He wants to get rid of golf as a whole, and it ends up creating this challenge between PGA golfers and the golfers that Benny Safdie's character has brought on. And the entirety of the film is watching Happy get back into golf to try to make enough money for his daughter's dance career, while also trying to take down this evil corporation who is trying to destroy the PGA. So like I said, I think this movie is horrible. I don't necessarily think that it's the worst thing in the world. It's definitely watchable, but I think the only reason for that is because of the attachment to the original characters. I don't have anything positive to say about this movie. I just found it to be incredibly grating and irritating. There were a couple of moments in Sandler's performance that it felt like he was trying to get back to how he portrayed the character originally, but for the most part, he seemed pretty uninvested. Like a lot of the scenes, it just seemed like he didn't want to be there. Like it was like he was being forced to make this movie, which is the problem that I've had with a lot of the recent projects he's done. The most passion and fire I've seen him have in a performance lately is Uncut Gems, and I feel like that's because there's artistic integrity in that film. There's like a reason for it to exist, where this is simply taking a property and trying to make money. The entire cast in this, it's just like cameo after cameo after cameo, to the point where I was like, is this even a movie? It just feels like a collection of scenes thrown together that just so happen to be about golf, that have the worst humor I've seen in a movie all year long. Like the juvenile fart jokes are all over the place. Like one of the reoccurring gags is like how bad Benny Safdie's breath smells, and I just feel like every time they cut it in, I was like, okay, we get it. It's super irritating. Like so many of the jokes that they try to land in this, it's just like old Sandler humor, but done in a way that feels less endearing. It just feels like an old man trying too hard, and that's really what most of this movie felt like, was an old man trying too hard to continue his relevancy in the comedy world. The casting, like I said, the acting in this isn't great. They bring Ben Stiller's character back, and it was just like every scene he was in, did you have to bring him back? Like the only reason you did it was because it was a hey, remember that type of a thing. And what really infuriated me about this movie is there are so many scenes like that where it's like, hey, remember that thing, where it's like they literally would take footage from the original Happy Gilmore and plug it into scenes when they would reference something from the original movie. And it's like, why the hell even have your own movie then if you're just going to do 1,000 callbacks to the original film? It's like, exist in your own space. Like, provide something that makes you want to revisit this movie. There's no reason to come back and watch this again. Even like the incorporation of like taking down the PGA and all that, you could add some like genuine stakes to make the movie feel any sort of semblance of tension, or like there's something to root against. But it's also just kind of whatever, to where you just don't care. One of the other elements of the movie that I just found kind of laughable, this kind of had like M. Night Shyamalan trap syndrome, where this seemed to be so much of like, look at my daughter, isn't she a great actress? Like she should get more roles. And she was fine in this movie, but like that whole subplot felt very much like M. Night Shyamalan shaping an entire film around his daughter's music career. And I've noticed like Adam Sandler's daughter in this, and this is no shot at her, like she does a great job with the material she's given, but I noticed in her filmography, like the only movies that she's been in are her dad's, and it's like, let her go do something else, like if she wants to pursue an acting career. Like just the way they centered the whole focus around how talented his daughter is and how much better she is than him and all of that. Like that's what it read as to me. I could be looking too much into it, but that also, like, on top of the movie just being really bad, I was like, oh, okay. And there's so many times I've watched recent Sandler movies where it feels like he just like made a movie to take his family on vacation or to make a couple extra bucks. And you look at the amount of sponsorship deals that came out of this, especially with like Subway, and it's just plastered all throughout the movie, like shameless product placement. And really, it's just like I said, it's everything that's wrong with the entertainment industry now. So many of these movies are less focused on being their own thing and so much more focused on just calling back to something that people remember. And that's the same thing with like live action remakes and reboots and stuff like that. It's just trying to make money off of people's nostalgia for something original. And it's like, do something new. Like a sequel should carry on the legacy of its original, but also do something different. And this is just miserable. This is one of the worst things I've watched all year. I hate it, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. So have you seen Happy Gilmore 2? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was terrible. I hated it, and I will never watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.